What's the weirdest thing you discovered about your partner only after moving in together? Story 1. I moved in with my girlfriend in Philly after dating for a year. She's a stylist, so I figured her place would be quirky. But a week in, I'm unpacking and find this life-sized mannequin in our closet, dressed in her old prom dress, with a wig and drawn-on eyebrows. I laughed, thinking it was a joke, but just got super serious, saying it's Maggie, her creative muse. Turns out, she talks to Maggie when she's designing outfits, like full conversations about fabric choices. I caught her once, sitting cross-legged, asking Maggie if plaid was too 2015. It's not just that, she moves Maggie around the apartment. One night, I woke up to Pete and Maggie's in the hallway, staring at me. I yelped, Jess laughed, but I'm still creeped out. She says it's no big deal, been doing it since art school, but I'm sleeping with one eye open now. It's funny in a what did I sign up for way, but also low-key terrifying when I'm home alone with that thing. Story 2. My boyfriend, Ryan, fake name, and I got a place in San Diego. He's a surf instructor, chill vibe. After moving in, I notice he's buying pickles nonstop, like industrial-sized jars. I love a good pickle, so I didn't care at first, but then I see he's not eating them. He's keeping the empty jars, stacking them in our pantry, labeled with dates and little notes like good vibes or tough day. I asked what's up, and he says he drinks the juice, straight like it's whiskey, whenever he's stressed. One night, I catch him chubbing it in the dark, muttering, "This one's got soul." He swears it's a hangover cure from his college days that stuck. Now our kitchen smells like Dill 24/7s, and he's got this ritual where he toasts the jar before sipping. It's absurd. I mean, who treats pickle juice like fine wine? I tease him, but he's dead serious about his collection. I'm just glad it's not something worse, though I draw the line at kissing him after a chug. Story 3. My wife and I moved to Portland. She's a vet tech, loves animals. After a month, I'm fixing a leaky sink and find a box under the bathroom vanity. Inside, a taxidermied squirrel posed like it's mid-jump, with glass eyes and a tiny scarf. I'm like, "Babe, what's this?" She gets quiet, says it's Sir Nutter's, a pet she had as a kid that she got stuffed after he died. She's kept it for 15 years, moves it with her everywhere. I thought it was a one-off, but then I find a mouse, Lady Whiskers, in her sock drawer. She says they're memories, not creepy, but I'm freaking out. She'll leave them on the counter sometimes, like they're part of the decor. I'm a laid-back guy, but waking up to a dead squirrel staring at me isn't chill. We've argued. She thinks I'm overreacting, but I'm pushing for a storage unit. It's serious to me. I can't live with her dead pets. Story 4. I thought I was losing my mind. Every morning, snacks would mysteriously disappear, yet no one ever admitted to eating them. One night, I stayed up late and caught my boyfriend in the act, crouched on the kitchen floor at 3 a.m., shirtless, devouring an entire loaf of bread straight from the bag. He looked at me like a raccoon caught in the trash. I asked what he was doing, and he just whispered, "I get hungry." No plate, no butter, just pure, unhinged late-night carb loading. We've never spoken about it since. Story 5. I knew my girlfriend liked music, but I wasn't prepared for this. The first time we got intimate in our new place, she put on a playlist. First song, the Wii Sports theme. I thought it was a joke, but then I realized she was dead serious. I tried to go with it, but nothing kills the mood like a baseball game countdown in the background. Later, I checked her playlist. It was full of random stuff like elevator music, kids' show themes, and even a Gregorian chant. I have so many questions, and I fear the answers. Story 6. My fiancé Dave and I moved into a Miami condo. He's a DJ, I'm in PR. Everything's great until I realized he screams in his sleep. Not just mumbles. Full-on horror movie yells, like, "No, not the bees," or "Get it off me." First night, I thought someone broke in, shook him awake, and he's clueless, says he sleeps like a baby. It happens every few nights, random stuff. Once it was, the toaster's alive. I started recording it, and we laugh about it now, but it's wild. He's got no memory of it, swears he's not stressed. I'm sleeping with earplugs. The weirdest part, he'll smile after, like he's proud of whatever he fought off. I've Googled it, maybe night terrors, but he won't see a doctor. It's lighthearted most days, but when he yelled the floor is lava, and kicked me out of bed, I was done. Still love him, just need a bigger mattress. Story 7. One day, I heard my boyfriend crying in the bathroom, like full-on sniffles and whimpers. I panicked, knocked on the door, and he immediately stopped. When he came out, he was completely fine. I asked what was wrong, and he straight up admitted, "Oh, I do that sometimes to see if I can make myself cry." Apparently he does fake crying exercises for fun, just to see if he can get the tears going. I have no idea why, and honestly, I'm too scared to ask for more details. Story 8. My girlfriend and I got a spot in Austin. She's an artist, I'm a coder. After moving in, I noticed she disappears into her studio, our spare room, for hours. One day, I peek in to bring her coffee, and she's buck naked, painting these huge canvases with her hands, covered in blue and red streaks. She's got music blasting, swaying around, totally in the zone. I'm like, "Are you good?" She says it's her process. Clothes block her energy. And she's done it forever. It's not even sexual, just messy and weird, but damn, she looks wild. I've caught her a dozen times now, paint everywhere. She'll shower after, act normal, but I'm still adjusting to my kitchen smelling like turpentine and seeing her back covered in acrylics. It's hot in a chaotic way, though I'm not joining her anytime soon. Story 9. I always thought my boyfriend was a deep sleeper. Turns out no, one night I woke up to him, enjoying himself while still technically asleep. At first, I thought he was messing with me, but he was completely out of it, murmuring nonsense. The next morning, I brought it up, and he had no memory of it. Apparently, he has sleep arousal, a real thing where some people initiate stuff in their sleep. I had to start locking the blankets around me, just in case. Story 10. So when my husband and I moved in together, after various roommates and housing jumps, we ended up with a collection of can openers. But only one was any good, as it happens. I know a lot of can-heavy cooking, so I'd usually end up pulling 2 or 3 openers out, trying them till I find the one that can do all the work I needed. I'd put the extras aside, intending to ask him his thoughts on how to handle it. They still can be used, so I can want to toss them out, but it's too much work to use them for multiple cans at once. But always, I forget, and he would clean the dishes and end up putting those away. We moved across the country together. We were engaged, when he finally asked, "Why do you use one can opener per can when you cook?" That was how he interpreted the empty cans and piles of can openers. That I was some oddball that didn't want to cross-contaminate my cans when opening them. And he was fully prepared to marry into that perceived craziness. Story 11. My partner was born and raised in a developing nation and has only lived in the US about 5 years, so the cultural differences have been pretty interesting in terms of lifestyle. You think you have a decent idea of the size of your privilege until you're presented with all the myriad ways your upbringing was totally different than theirs. He's intelligent and well-educated, so it didn't occur to me just how much of what I consider basic knowledge is dependent on experience and access to certain items. Some examples. He never had a car with cruise control in his home country and didn't know it existed. We were 12 hours into a 14-hour drive before I noticed he wasn't using it and asked why. As you can guess, he's a big fan lol. He knows our tap water is safe, but he still can't drink it without using a filter. It's too ingrained in him. Similarly, his country doesn't have water softeners, so I had to explain about those. He also never had a dishwasher before, so trying to get him to use ours instead of washing the dishes by hand has been a challenge. I feel like they get cleaner in the dishwasher, and he feels like they get cleaner when hand-washed because it's what each of us is used to. At the end of the day, they get cleaned, so despite cooking for himself since he was a child, he doesn't know a lot of what I consider basic cooking skills. He had a hot plate and a microwave, and that was it. Apart from cooking oil, there wasn't money for things that helped with the cooking process. Any herbs or sauces were chosen for a strong flavor to hide the taste of ingredients that were bland or even a little past their prime and cheapness. He prefers much stronger flavors than I do as a result, but he's also been extremely receptive to everything I've taught him to make so far. Story 12. After moving in with my girlfriend, I started waking up to this faint clicking sound every morning, like a pen tapping. Took me weeks to figure it out. She's got this old wind-up alarm clock hidden in a shoebox under the bed, set to go off at 5 a.m. She doesn't even use it to wake up. She just winds it every night, lets it tick for an hour, then shuts it off. I caught her sneaking it out one morning, and she said it's a comfort thing from when she was a kid. Her grandpa gave it to her, and she can't sleep without the noise. It's so bizarre. She'll sit there in the dark, listening to it like it's a lullaby. I tried moving it once, and she freaked, so now I just deal with the clicks. It's quirky but kinda sweet, though I still don't get why she hides it. Story 13. Living with my wife was smooth at first, until I noticed food going missing. Cookies, chips, random leftovers. Then one night, I get up for water and find her in the kitchen, building this little tower out of snacks on the counter. She's got crackers stacked, a cheese slice flag, even a pickle spear leaning like a spire. She whispered, "It's for the snack gods," then ate it piece by piece, giggling. She says she's done it forever, makes a shrine when she's hungry at night. Some weird tradition from her teens. Caught her again last week with a pretzel pyramid. It's ridiculous, but hilarious. I'll walk in, and she's bowing to a muffin. I'm tempted to join her, but I'd rather sleep than worship Doritos. Story 14. My husband seemed normal until we moved in together, and I started finding socks everywhere. Not dirty ones, but single socks, folded neatly and tucked in weird spots, behind the TV, under cushions, in the pantry. I thought he was messing with me, but he admitted he buries them when they lose their match, calls it his sock graveyard, and says they're resting in peace. One day I caught him holding a little funeral whispering, "You served well," to a strapped one before stashing it in a drawer. He's dead serious, won't throw them out, thinks it's disrespectful. It's so absurd I laugh, but he's got dozens hidden now. I'm half amused, half annoyed. I keep finding them like Easter eggs. Story 15. My boyfriend wakes up every morning at 6:27 a.m. without an alarm. Exactly 6:27 a.m. I tested this by setting up cameras. He just wakes up, sits up like a vampire, looks around, and then immediately goes back to sleep. I asked him how he does it, and he has no clue. No job to wake up for, no schedule. His body just knows. I live in fear that he is part of a government experiment and doesn't remember. Story 16. We were fixing to watch a movie, and he wanted popcorn. He said, "Too bad we don't have any lettuce." I asked if he wanted the salad. He said, "No, I want popcorn and lettuce." He said he never said anything at the movie theater because he always knows they never have lettuce. The man eats bites of lettuce and popcorn together. His whole family does. Story 17. My boyfriend essentially needs blizzard conditions to sleep. Ceiling fan, side fan, completely undressed. Sometimes puts an ice pack under his pillow. And he puts blizzard sound effects on his earphones to drop off. If I'm there, he also constantly hugs, squeezes, or wraps himself around me. We only lived together for a week at a time before, as I need basically the opposite conditions: warm, layered pajamas, untouched, silence. We're not compatible to share a sleeping space. So in a couple of months, we're getting a 2-bedroom place together, so we both get to sleep and not want to murder each other. Story 18. How unbelievably and almost uniquely normal she is. She has no drama, no family issues, no trauma-induced fetishes. She likes Superman and loves people for who they are. She's mild-mannered and kind, loves animals. Like she has zero crazy. We've never raised our voices to one another in 9 years together. Coming from 30 years of chaotic relationships, it's still a little unsettling to me sometimes. Like we've been married 7 years now, and I still wait for the crazy to pop up. But there very well may just not be any. She's the definition of a breath of fresh air every day. Story 19. He sleeps like a vampire, sleeping on his back, with his arms straight by his sides or folded on his chest. Every single night. Some nights he doesn't even change his position at all. I was seriously concerned during the first couple of nights we slept in the same bed. Story 20. He gets a weird feeling in his tummy and then goes to sit on the toilet for an hour until he has a bowel movement. Apparently, wait until I get the cue to go to the bathroom before actually attempting, as I thought was normal. He quite literally made fun of me yesterday for kicking him off the toilet. "You made me get up to only take 30 seconds. Dude, you've been in there for 45 minutes and clearly nothing was happening if you could just let me in like that."
That's a wrap for this video. Make sure to leave your relatable story down in the comments. I would love to make a video on them. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.